Welcome to a new session. So we have already created an EC2 instance, and on that EC2 instance, we have created an additional volume or a add-on volume, and we have mounted that volume to the existing instance, and we also dumped data into it, right? So we can see when I run lsblk on the instance, I can see there is one device which is the root device, and the second device which is the add-on device which I have mounted under the slash new wall 1. All right. Now let me go and do some output operations to this device new wall 1. So let me cd to new wall 1 and ls-lrt. Okay, let me run a command and do an input operation to this particular device. Uh, let me say free -n, and I will put it into test4.txt. Okay, and now I did a input operation. Let me do an output operation now. Cat test4.txt. Okay, so that was a very basic input output operation. All right, so now that I have interacted with the particular volume, the add-on volume, the volume is now attached to the operating system. So let's say now I want to detach the add-on volume from the first instance, and I want to attach it to another instance with the same set of data. How am I going to do that? Let's see the task now. Okay, so first step was I have done all the input output operations. Now remember, never cut the branch on which you are sitting. So you are located inside the new wall 1. So the first step is we have to come out of the new wall 1. For that, just exit and come to the root. Then the next step is to unmount the new wall volume. Okay, so for that, run umount / new wall 1. If you are going to unmount the volume from within the new wall 1, it will not allow you to do that. Probably you can test that also. So now I'm going to unmount the volume new wall 1, and well, it is unmounted now. Okay, so df-h will not show me the second volume. Okay, see the mount point, it is no longer mounted. Okay, the xvdf is no longer mounted. Now this is the right procedure to detach an instance from a volume or volume from the instance. The reason is because if there are going to be input output operations happening to the volume, and if you're going to detach it, then it may cause to a probable loss of data, which we don't want that to happen. So that is the reason we properly unmount the file system first, and then you go and detach the volume from the instance. Okay, so let me go and click here and click on actions and click on detach volume. At the moment it is attached to the instance. Okay, A813C. So let me go and click on actions and let me detach the volume. Okay, so it is going to take a while. This has to change from in use to available. All right, so let me wait for that. Yeah, now it is available. Okay, very nice. Now let us go and manage the first instance. Okay, so remember we updated the fs tab, etc fs tab, right? So let me go and check out the /etc/fs tab, and we have this device already there. Okay, there are two options. Either you can go and delete that line, or you can just put a hash in front of it, a comment it, and make it so that once the machine is going to be rebooted, it will not going search for this particular slash new wall one. Remember, if you are going to leave the FS tab as it is, then when your machine is rebooted, it is going to be searching for this new volume, and it is going to be causing a hung state. We don't want that to happen. All right. So the right method would be to go to the etc/fs tab file, and I would ideally delete that line. Okay. For any reason, if you are going to bring that device back in, then probably you can just uncomment it, comment it, and then later you can comment it also. So let me Control S, Control X, clear. So now I have removed the volume properly from the existing first instance. Okay, so let me go and close this. Let me close this also. So I have the volume now, which is still sitting there, add-on volume. Now let me go to the running instances, and I will clear off this also. Let me terminate the first instance. Right, let's just give it a few seconds there. Okay, now the next step is, let me go and launch a new instance. Select, I'll leave it at 32 micro, and I'm going to leave all these as it is. I'm not going to change any of them. Add tags, configure security group. I'll select an existing security group, which is SSH security group. Launch, I'll use the same key pair, launch instance. So it should take probably a minute's time for the instance to come back. So at the moment, it is not running. So let me clear out this filter. It is showing pending, it's just coming up. So let me set the filter again for running. Just give it a few more seconds. And meanwhile that is happening, let's ensure the volume from the first instance is gone. Okay, so it will be gone in a little while, because probably the instance is still going down. The first instance which we deleted, right, it is still shutting down, so that's the reason the volume is still showing in use. A few more seconds there. So we have the new instance already up and running now. Okay, so let's just check on the volume also. One of the important tasks during your day-to-day activities, managing any cloud platform. All right, so cloud platforms, charge us on the system resources, the overall services that they give to us. So we are using their services, and we are going to be charged for their services. So if you're not using any specific service, make sure to stop the service or delete the service if you are not going to be using that service. All right, so that you can save costs on your environment. All right, now it is completely terminated. Let me go to the volumes and check here also. All right, the previous one is now completely gone, and the add-on volume is available there. The new machine is up, and I have the volume there already, which is the root volume. Okay, so now let me go and connect to this machine. I'm going to use instance connect, and once I'm connecting to it, good. Now let me go and run sudo -s, become the root, and let me run lsblk, and I see that there is only one mount point associated with it, which is the root device. Now the next step is, I want to attach the second volume. So click on add-on volume, click on actions, and you have the options which is called as attach volume. So click on attach volume, and it will show you the instance information. Okay, so there is only one instance, and remember, when I created this volume, it should be when I created the new instance, it should be within the same availability zone as the volume Yeah, so wherever the volume exists, your instance should also be there only, because you cannot you know span your EBS instance across availability zones or across regions. All right, so it has to be within the same availability zone. So it's good that it got created automatically within the US East 1C. Otherwise, I would have had to delete that instance and recreate an instance where the volume is sitting, or I should have created a snapshot and moved it to a different availability zone altogether. Okay, so that is, all these tasks are quite cumbersome. So just be careful at this point, and mindful of these kind of small minuscule things, but they matter a lot. So yeah, so now let me go and make sure it is this instance 5D21, right? Yes, it is 5D21. It's where it's going to be attached now. I'm clicking on attach volume, and now you see that the volume state has changed to in use. Good. Now let me go back to the instance and let me run lsblk, and I can see that the device from the other machine is now attached to this new instance. Okay, so how am I going to access that? I'm going to do something now, and it will fail. Alright, so remember that in the previous task, when we first created the instance, what I did was I created a file system on top of it, and only then I mounted it. Right, so let me try to create a file system again. Alright, -t xfs/dev/xvdf, and what is the error that I'm getting is dev xvdf appears to contain an existing file system. Why? Because in the first instance itself, we had created a XFS file system on top of it. So we don't have to create the file system again. So all you have to do is, once you have attached the new volume to the instance, you can go ahead and create a directory. Normally that would not be available for you, right? So wherever you want to mount it, you can mount it. All right, but I would do it into the new wall 1. Okay, I'll create the new wall 1 directory within the /root. Now the new wall 1 is ready. So now let me mount the device again. Okay, /new wall 1. All right, I did not get any errors, so it was successful. Now let me cd to new wall 1, and if I'm going to run the ls-lrt, I can see all the files which I had created on the other instance. And this is the way that you will be cutting off one volume or set of volumes, additional volumes which is attached to one instance, and you can move that specific volume to another instance. However, remember, all these should be within the same availability zone only. All right, so thank you very much for this watching this session, and I'll meet you in the next session.